Well, Defense Secretary James Mattis in London today singling out North Korea as a threat that must be stopped.
We're working through the United Nations. We're working with our allies, and we are working diplomatically, including with those that we might be able to enlist in this effort to get North Korea under control. But right now it appears to be going in a very reckless manner in what its conduct is portraying for the future, and that's got to be stopped.
Well, the Trump administration today also issuing sanctions against a North Korean business and 11 North Korean nationals tied to the rogue nation's nuclear weapons program. North Korea will be on the agenda when President Trump meets with Chinese President Xi next week at Mar-a-Lago. You can bet that's going to be a conversation. Secretary of State Rex Tillerson, he's in Brussels today pressuring NATO allies to increase their defense spending. Tillerson saying, and I quote, as President Trump has made clear, it is no longer sustainable for the U.S. to maintain a disproportionate share of NATO's defense expenditures. Allies must increase defense spending. Right now, only 5 out of 28 NATO members spend the requirement of 2% of their GDP on defense. Well, here to discuss North Korea's latest provocations, NATO, whether Russia probe is a witch hunt. Please welcome former Ambassador John Bolton from the American Enterprise Institute and senior fellow. I got all your titles in there, John. So let's start with North Korea, because this isn't the first time we've seen this movie. I mean, we've gone to them. They say we'll behave. We promise them help. We promise them aid. We promise them material to help them with their nuclear energy program. And every time they've snookered us.
Yeah, look, we've been negotiating directly and indirectly with North Korea for 25 years or more. As you mentioned, they've said many times they would give up their nuclear weapons program. They've lied every single time they've done it. There's simply no prospect that in year 26 of negotiations with North Korea, anything's going to change. And I think the administration had already stated that they thought the strategic patience doctrine of the Obama administration was finished. But with all due respect to General Mattis, it's not the international community or the United Nations or anybody else that's really going to resolve this. This is a U.S.-China issue. And as you rightly said a moment ago, it will be a big agenda item, at least it should be, in the talks between President Trump and President Xi at the end of next week. What
has China's attitude changed with Kim Jong-un? Are they starting to get a little nervous about him as well?
Well, some of them are. But look, China's been two-faced about this, let's be clear, for the past 25 years. They've said they don't want North Korea to have nuclear weapons. But frankly, they haven't done nearly what they could do, what they alone can do to pressure North Korea to give up that program. My view for some time has been our objective should be reunifying the Korean Peninsula. China can help us with that in a big, big way. And if it may be too late to get to reunification before the North gets a deliverable nuclear capability, in which case our options are very limited and very unpleasant.
And the other part about that, and I've done this much reading about the family, about the grandfather and the father, and now Kim Jong-un, and that there is a very strong feeling with them that they need to have nuclear weapons in order to survive.
Sure. This is the trump card for their regime. In many respects, it's not dissimilar to the Ayatollahs in Iran, who see a nuclear capability as being their trump card as well. So I think we need to look at this problem of nuclear proliferation not in isolation. North Korea is a problem, Iran's a problem. In fact, this is a problem that's worldwide, and especially given the cooperation between the North Koreans and the Iranians on ballistic missile programs, and I think quite likely on the nuclear side as well. Whatever capability North Korea has today, Iran can have tomorrow through a wire transfer.
Yeah, but everybody's thinking North Korea is going to get the capability to deliver a nuclear warhead on a missile. And nobody wants to wait until that happens.
Well, no, but that's why I say we've just about run out of time. After 25 years over administrations, Republican and Democratic alike, we squandered a lot of opportunities. So the commander of U.S. Forces Korea last year said he thought they would have a delivery capability, put a warhead on top of an ICBM, hit the west coast of the United States very soon, and some have said very soon means 2018. So time is very limited here. We hear of preparations for another nuclear test. Ballistic missile testing pace has increased dramatically. Time is running out.
So let's talk NATO for a minute, because Rex Tillerson is talking to NATO and say, come on, pay up. And Germany is saying, I don't think so. That's an awful lot of money you're asking us to do. So what do we do with Germany?
Well, listen, this is a very serious matter. You know, it's not like the United States imposed some obligation on NATO members. All the NATO members voluntarily agreed to spend at least 2% of their gross domestic product on defense. That's what collective defense is all about. But for many years, the overwhelming majority of European NATO members, and Germany in particular, have not met the 2% target. Germany is about 1.1% of their GDP. Given that it's the biggest economy in Europe by far, it's a terrible example for everybody else.
Yeah.
And I think after years of saying, come on, Europe, live up to your commitments, really, I think President Trump's going to bring this to a head. And look, it's good for the alliance. Do you want a strong alliance, or do you want a weak alliance with people who are not meeting obligations they voluntarily undertook?